Hi. He always catches me in this. I'm over here just like the town in my head.
What am I supposed to?
Like, hey,
A
3, 2,
count-
1.
countdown on
produce
the screen
the
that
show.
says 3, 2, 1.
There ain't no countdown on there.
There is a
Yeah,
countdown
there is.
on there,
I didn't see it.
and I'm literally leaning
not-
forward so y'all can see the screen.
Speaking today.
I quit.
No, that's okay. You were fired
No,
2
no.
days ago. We just didn't send you the
You
letter.
can't just leave. You can't leave.
You had to be scared for a second,
I was
didn't
gonna
you?
say, it was like walking
Yeah.
towards the door. I was like, what are you doing?
No,
Man, we were kidding. We were kidding.
Sorry, easy.
We were kidding, man. We's kidding. He just
Now the shoe's on the other foot.
You know what we just
That's a hard
proved?
test to do when you're my size. You know, I'm just saying.
You know what we though? Is we actually need him.
Yeah, we were like,
No,
who's gonna turn the screens? Who's gonna make sure we press the button? We're back.
Aren't you glad?
I'm glad I'm here. I think I've been gone with Fridays
2 Fridays and a Monday.
and a Monday, and okay. So let's talk about this, Megan. We got a lot to cover today, so I'm just gonna talk about story. A hard week. It wasn't actually.
You were burdened and travailing all week.
I was with a bunch of seniors on the new Stottendam of New Orleans cruise ship line.
You and the
So-
the line at Old Country Buffet
Hey.
to a cruise.
No. It really was. But here, let
the
me.
boat.
No,
the lights
but
turned
here-
off at sea.
No. Here, dude. You first off, I will say, and I up this and promote it, but like Holland America's cruises are so top notch, so. I mean, the cleanliness of the boat. There was no rust. You know how like sometimes you see on cruise ships, there are little spots of rust they didn't paint over, or whatever. Dude, they had zambonis on the outside of the. People walk on the outside. Like they had zambonis cleaning them. Impeccable. I was telling him when you call room service and to come in and clean the room, 10 minutes tops.
Wow.
Your room could have been right. Which I'm not saying we're slobs, but I messed up the bed or whatever. Dude, 10 minutes in and out, new linen, everything. I mean, the food was incredible. The entertainment. I thought it's older people. I'm sure it's gonna be. They had top notch players, dude. So I mean, it was really good. So it's New Holland MS New Stottendam MS New Stottendam. And so we played this trivia game. They were doing a bingo trivia because it's an older crowd. So we'd go down to the trivia because you're doing culture. They were doing
trivia.
no, we didn't go to bingo. I mean,
Bingo was in the next room.
It really was actually. It was earlier in that day in the next room, but. So much stereotype in this here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But hear me out. So like we went to these trivia nights. Like they had these like 13 questions, and whoever got the most would you win, or if you win anything. One of the questions was, what does the MS stand for in MS New, right? And so you had to submit in a team of 4, had to submit to, and the popular answer would come up. So people would, they would just submit. There was probably 12 teams that night. So me and Carriage was there to watch. We didn't participate. MS. I'm like, MS. I was trying to think MS. What does that mean? Some said motorized ship. Some said, which was the right answer, motor ship. One team wrote mostly seniors.
Yes, my people.
It was so funny. But I mean, again, top. We got to relax a lot.
Yeah.
What's cool is when there was like younger couples, but there was kids. So it was just, I think it's just because that's what that shit. It's not that they don't allow kids. There's 2 or 3 babies, but it wasn't like a lot.
Right.
So there weren't kids running around. There wasn't all night parties. It was just a relaxing time. And so thoroughly enjoyed it. Got to meet some really cool people. A lot of Catholics. A lot of Catholics were on that boat. No, it was cool.
New York Catholic.
Yeah, Catholics. Got to drive around in some crazy cars. This Jeep. He's like, I got Jeep for you, $100. I was like, sure, let's do it. Went out there. It was the jankiest Jeep. Oh, buddy, it was like steering's loose. So I'm like, thanking me, but well, it was fun. So we relaxed. We had a good time.
And some people across the country in this, when I lived in Michigan, when you thought about it, you thought like you're spending money in order to take this week, right? It was the rich families who went on the cruise. Down here in Florida, it's different. It's a getaways type event because you can get late prices, right? At discounts, and the cruise ships are really out right now, which is awesome. So for people like now, even Melissa and I are like, maybe we should go on a cruise for a couple of days.
Dude, yeah, you know? And a lot of people came in from other states, right? So like, they got the ship fare plus the airfare plus the Florida, so we could just drive.
So cheap for us.
Yeah. It's like an hour away from the dock, you know, from the place. So I don't know. I'll say top notch, best one I've ever been on. As far as like just relaxing. Again, entertainment was amazing. Food was incredible food. I don't know. Filipinos rock, man. They had a bunch of all Filipinos, except for people that were like at the coffee bar. They were from, I think, like Holland.
Yeah,
because they were like they had the accent, like, well. And then the way they would talk to you was so cute. They were like, "Hello, Marcelino," and I'm like, "It's Marcelino, man," but it's cool, you know. But it was good ship, good time. Anywho's, we're back, and we're here. Politics. Sounds like it sounds like a first and last name. Politics.
We should create a character name.
Yeah, politics. Write it down.
No.
Write it down.
You are producer. Are you doing anything over there? You'd like.
He doesn't even have his microphone on right now.
Like, back, eyes closed.
He quit.
I have nothing to add to this.
Politics for elections.
Just so you guys know, he's about to have his own camera here. We got cameras now, so he's gonna have his own, and he'll be on the show, and
we can't.
He'll be able to state his case every time we get on his case.
For now, the camera view looks like this.
Anyways. What are we doing? Are we doing this or are we doing this? What are we doing?
We're doing stuff. We're doing something here. What do you want to talk about today? Yeah, good answer.
That was good.
I'm so happy for you participating in this conversation.
Of course, always happy.
So tomorrow is election time. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really want to talk election stuff, but
I do, in the sense that creating the sense of urgency to do your civic and God-given duty, right? And I understand what you're talking about. It has become so. Allow me to explain. I preached yesterday, and I said it's not about the R&D. Now, most of the time, I vote Republican. Actually, I voted for a few libertarians, a couple of constitutional parties. Most of the time, I vote Republican because they align with my values the most. We've seen Republicans get it wrong too. That's why I say it's not about R and the D. It's about the character, institutionally. So I explained that yesterday in the sermon, right? And I hope I did a good job as far as saying, because they say they want to feed the poor. That's what Democrats have been doing for years. You elect someone who's going to follow the Constitution, which is what the right typically wants to say they do, and for the 50%, do 40%. They play they do it during election.
And their view of the Constitution is skewed.
It is. You're right.
The Republican conservative base tends to have a more accurate view of what the Constitution is and how it should play a role in government. I think you like probably get 40% of that more establishment side that uses it as a slogan during voting time, but when it comes to it, is like, well, we don't care what it says. Let's go what we want to do.
So when Trump, do you guys remember Mitch McConnell was against him? When he got elected, Trump started actually doing things, and people were getting behind him. The Republican, the people who were Republican in the nation. Then Mitch went out and supporting him. This became politically expedient to do so, right? So it's like you see that a lot, right? And again, they're not perfect, and that's what I to get across in yesterday's sermon. That does not mean we don't vote. That does not mean, even though our elections may be in some sense like we know rigged, something happened, whatever side of they're on about that, whether you believe it or don't believe it. It matters. Your duty is still to go vote. That's a God-given right to do. It's a duty, a civic duty, as a matter of fact. So, not that I want to talk elections. I mean, it's not exactly the funnest topic in the world. People want hope, right? Dude, I can see my breath. Can we turn that thing off? I'm freezing.
Wait. We need to flip that.
I'm the one who always wants the AC freezing right now.
I have never heard that come out in this studio. I'm cold.
Free. I know if I'm cold, this dude's freezing.
I'm actually okay right now.
I am too. I think that boat warped your interior thermometer.
God. And you're going. Anywho's,
it's all those old people. It rubbed off on you. Yeah, that's right. I said it.
Wow. Yeah.
Soon 76
what do I do?
Degrees is going to be cold to you soon.
Why is it so freezing in here? I don't understand. They keep the air time. It's really frustrating.
Fat freezes really fast.
That's your argument.
That is my.
You're sticking.
So, guys, did you guys know? Arizona, Senator Mark Kelly versus Blake Masters. As of November 3rd, Kelly is in the lead. You know what's so stupid? First off, before I continue, something was an alarm. I was like, "What's going on?" So before I continue, do you ever notice in these articles that have been coming out by all the major media outlets, as of late, the Republicans have made a huge surge.
Right.
How stupid. No, they haven't. These guys have been attacking this in 20. Like, we're going to win the midterms. We got to win the midterms. All of a sudden, this last-minute surge by the Republicans.
Oh, against all expectation. To your point, the party in power has lost an average of 8 seats in the House and 4 seats in the Senate since 1934. This was completely expected, but you're right. The news media comes out and they're like, "This is I don't understand what's going on." That's because you're blind.
They want to willfully be blind.
Yes.
What a narrative, dude. You know, just like Homeboy did. What is it, MSC or NBC, whatever one of them. It's like, if you vote conservative, babies. You know, I did a whole thing on that. Guys do the narrative thing. It's like, all of a sudden now we want to kill people. Like, he went so extreme to say they just want to kill people. That is such you want to talk rhetoric. There it is. We at least say, if you're an abortionist, you're for the murder of babies.
Right.
We've at least said that, right? But to boom, that all of a sudden, because the GOP gets in there goes, which we're not a democracy, right? All these other things. All of a sudden, we're the ones who want to kill people. Christians, because that's what you're talking to. You're labeling Christians the Christ of our salvation, who talk more about love of God more than any. Now we want to kill people. That's what they're doing. They're literally going to turn it to, it's the Christian now that's right winger that wants to kill people. This is what they're doing. They're pushing.
And desperation pushes to extremes. And that's what we're witnessing right now is they will, that side of things, that argument, right? That progressive side of things will push the argument more and more extreme, because it's always notched up. So you always have to one up. So you notice, like,
100%.
Now, instead of the conversation where 40, 50 years ago, it was like, okay, economy, inflation, we should really, we think Republicans are going to do best. We think Democrat. No, now it's like, they're going to kill you. And that's the conversation now. They're all out to kill you. And Stacey Abrams in because she is a sound, real political mind in today's day and age. Oh, it's already voter suppression. Lose, it's because voter suppression. They're suppressing absentee ballots, except they've had 2 million. They've broken the record by 2 million in absentee early voting.
But wait, voter suppression, doesn't that voter fraud? Doesn't that sound like stolen election? So we haven't even gone through the election. No. And she's already claiming that there's a stolen election.
Of course, Hillary Clinton did as well. And we covered
in 2016.
That.
Yes.
No. She just did it.
Oh, she just
covered that. Was that Friday or last Monday? I think it was last Monday.
It was Monday.
She just came out Show how much you pay attention.
I was gonna say put the camera here. I didn't watch that show. I was on a boat.
He was on a boat. He was on a boat. Bunch of Agnes's and Huberts.
I was learning how to crochet, dude. Chill.
The shuffleboard game was going hot.
There was 2 decks of shuffleboard. By the way,
bingo,
there was
shuffleboard.
This giant basketball court nobody used.
Cobwebs hanging from the hoop.
Let's you go shoot hoops. I'm like, no.
I would love if you're like, hey, let's shoot hoops. You're asking a tenant, hey, can we have a basketball? I don't know if we have one.
All of a sudden they pull out a kickball.
Well,
here you go.
Convenience store, like first shelf is just geriatric.
It's those like 19 and the first 19 basketball with the old school leather, you know.
The hoops are actual baskets. The boat still has like rotary phones on. Bro, I could go all day with
oh man,
I don't even know where I was
yeah.
at.
Anyway, so we're talking about this here.
That's stop election. Anyways,
Hillary Clinton.
Yes, thank you. So he came out recently and said Republicans are trying to steal 24. And we literally, it's okay now. We can say it. It's all right. Because Republicans are going to take it.
So
what they're doing.
The election deniers are on the other side.
Yes.
Even before the election.
Yes. Oh, 2 years before the presidential election. Republicans are going to steal it.
You know, we're really bad at keeping secrets.
We're not very,
wow.
You're
we
right.
let this plan out 2 years before. Jeez.
Hillary Clinton, she always stops us. How did she find out about our evil plans?
Dude, first off, good call. That was really good. That was good. It's like, hey, we're gonna steal the election.
Wink, wink.
So you know.
I sure hope nobody hears me coming up with a diabolical plan to turn the political system on its head.
Hillary's in the corner scribbling notes. Oh, this is good. We're gonna get them now. They finally admitted it.
Oh. This is why we don't like talking about this stuff, because it's such theater. Yeah. We'll jump on it and get all pissed off about it, and the left will continue. You know what I mean? It's just it's theater at this point. It's not even about government. It's not even about the people at this point. It's literally about them attacking each other. And tribalism has done a great. It's not focusing on each other anymore. It's not pretty. It's focused on our personality. It's focused on the favorite person we love. And so it's a dangerous thing.
That's a good segue, because I talk about the Trump DeSantis thing.
Oh,
so this is kind of fluff.
Basically, they're projecting Republicans to win several seats,
and stuff's going on in the country. In Pennsylvania,
a lot of stuff happening.
In-depth reporting here at Self-Evident. Stuff's going on. Bad
stuff.
Election stuff.
Tomorrow,
maybe, if you need to. For Easy, election is Wednesday. Do not forget that.
It's bad. I was gonna lay off you too.
Now that I opened the door,
no, keep going.
All right, so Trump attacked DeSantis in his rally. Now I hear the Trump in this moment going, "Oh, hold on, it was just one line." You have to see it through his eyes. You have to see what's going on in his mind. So Trump made the attack while campaigning in Pennsylvania. He used a questionable poll that was conducted months ago. Just shortly after the FBI's investigation into his handle government records, all of that, he said Trump at 71, Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%. Crowd did not cheer. There was no moment of excitement about it. And a lot of people this was a really bad move. And I had said this to Massey right after it came out. What really frustrates me about this is you are 3-4 days away from an election that you're not involved with. You have no dog in this fight outside of campaigning for people, and you're going to attack the most pop governor who is actually standing for freedom, who's actually something with the state of Florida. You're going to stand up and to put yourself above him. That's a dangerous sign. And Trump supporters need to be aware of. You see here, is it principle or opportunity?
I think too, what's happening. You may disagree with me on this, and that's cool. Like I don't care about that. I got to stand with my conscience. Trump is not gaining as much momentum as he thought. I think he would. Midterm. I think a lot of the attention now is focused on DeSantis, and let's let him run. He's a young guard. He can do it. Flamed the fire by Charlie Crist, who comes in and says he wants to run for president, so don't even vote for him for governor. He's not even be here. Like, so there's a lot of fanning of the flame. And so Trump does what you just said about the left. When people are putting when babies they just react.
Right.
So to attack a DeSantis to try to make him under, that is the first move of a narcissist. When you see someone who's going ahead of the, your first thing to do is attack that person so that you're still on top. Right. And then afterwards, you'll clean up the mess. You'll look, dude, I was just saying that the heat of the moment. I still got your back, but this proves men of like, what does your character dictate? I'm gonna shoot straight with you. When people put by their names Trump endorsed candidate, I don't even pay attention.
I don't care.
Pay attention to it, and I'll tell you why. Who cares? Do you follow the Constitution or not? Are you constitutionally endorsed? See what I'm saying? Like, we're really big on and yeah, Trump did some good things. What happened on Trump? What we're saying is watch the character. How are we going to change the system to watch a character if we don't start watching the character?
Thank you. And
you know what I mean?
Character out in environment. If the environment becomes hostile, your character really comes forward. Trump is losing momentum. People are forgetting or moving on, especially because DeSantis is up. What concerns me is instead of Trump saying DeSantis is going to do it in Florida. I understand when you're campaigning against each primaries, you go after whatever. That's political.
Par for the course.
But when you're in a midterm season and DeSantis is running for governor, you have noted in the fight what this really showed is your character concerned about him in 2 years,
which is really ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. And I'm concerned as you see what Trump is doing is opportunity. He's taking opportunity as opposed to principle.
Yeah,
he's not seeing long term on this whole thing.
Right. You know what I love about Sabatini, Michigan runner right now. Her name's Angela Regas. These kind of people. What I love about them, they're Trump endorsed, but they've maintained their position before Trump. They've always held this patriotic stance. DeSantis has kind of seemed like he's always held this patriotic stance.
Yeah.
You don't stand the way that you do if you weren't principle first. That's what I love about him. I think that's why you can get behind Angela Regas. That's why you can get behind. If you don't know her, look her up. She's pretty cool. She's pretty cool. But I look at Sabatini at that. At least he's principled enough to say, hey, we're in the wrong here. This is right, or whatever. So I just we're not bashing President Trump.
No.
What we're saying is watch steps, because what you're doing is doing more damage than good to yourself. For DeSantis will have his crowd. Dude, I was there. I did a prayer. Was it Saturday morning?
Yeah.
Saturday, I think it was. He had a rally here in PSL, and they asked the pastor to pray at the rally. Here, now this is for you libertarian friends that are mine. Okay, I understand your position with DeSantis comes across like a dictator. I see that too, but you got to hear his position. He doesn't technically say things like what he says is the left was trying to do this. We need to free up families. So here's what we did. We passed this. We do that. We don't want them to be in schools and pass agenda. Want you as the parents. So we signed this law, and that parents now can be reported to by their kids' schools. Blah blah blah. In other words, giving freedom. And then all of a sudden he comes out with this. Listen to this. Libertarians always like taxation theft, right? He's now lifting taxes from baby formula, baby cribs, baby goods, all those things up to a certain age. He's going away taxes from pet food.
Whoa.
He's paying taxes from pet food. Like
Wow.
he taxes because he's like, look, in the struggling times that we're in our economy, we've done the biggest tax cuts we've ever seen, and we still have a $20 billion. He goes, you know what we did? The business at which, again, you agree or disagree, in Disney, he goes, they weren't paying taxes like the rest of the companies were. So we said, so we started taxing like everyone else.
Yeah.
So made up for certain things. We gave it back to the class. And so what he's saying is, constitutionally, I'm trying to get the people free. So he doesn't say that the libertarians are used to. What I love about what I was saying is he did 40 minutes on spiking the football, but not one time did he bash Charlie Crist.
Awesome.
He said something about a donkey, an old donkey, but he never like attacked character. He never attacked nothing. He just said, look, this is what we've done. If this is what you want to continue, vote for me. And I need your help.
Right.
It was awesome to see. No attack. The 2020 elections, no attacking. It was, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to see done. There's still more to do. We want to keep Florida free.
Amen.
I mean, what more do you, why are you going after Trump?
You should be supporting him.
Shut up.
It'll only strengthen your position.
For the first time in your life, shut up. I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Shut. Take the win, because his endorsement of you will go way farther than you're capping on him.
Right.
So if you got your mouth now, support the dude. His endorsement of you will take you way farther. I mean, use your head. Narcissism. I've said it from the beginning. He is one of those. He's got that tendency,
and he'll get stuff done, and I bet he'll get stuff done. Right. And it's tough because people are going to be mad at us because
that's cool.
Which is what it is.
I'm not attacking Trump.
Right.
I'm not attacking Trump. Let's get this clear. We're not attacking policy. We're not attacking.
Right.
What we're saying in your character, the fruit of your life is speaking. We as Christians, we as the body. He claims to be a Christian. We're acting the fruit. We're saying this isn't good, bro. How about we close our mouths and go talk to him directly? Do the Direct 18 approach. Go to him.
No.
Right? Instead of air out it's ridiculous.
And I think it's a sign, like you said, right? It's a sign. A narcissist can get a lot done because they move and they go. The weakness of that is it doesn't. It moves on their thoughts, their desires, the way they want to go.
Yeah.
So when that doesn't align with principle, then you really get into trouble. There were plenty of times where he aligned with principle, he aligned with conviction of where the constitutionalists are at, where freedom, liberty is at, and I think he holds some things. I do too.
Racism doesn't mean they're terrible people.
Does not mean necessarily wickedness at the core.
Right. Narcissism is a tendency, like a what would you call it? A psychological
personality
trait. It's a personality trait, which most people who are in positions of power, Biden is a prime example. Narcissist. Yeah. Obama, he was a really good narcissist. He was so good at hiding his narcissism that you saw through the hiddenness.
Right.
Those kind of. So you see, not saying that the word narcissist always has to be to a negative, right? There's just negative things about it.
Right.
But dude, when it comes to his tendency to story this morning, a dude that was sitting across Trump, I saw it with my eyes. He went and said, "Is Sal and so here?" She was working at Mar-a-Lago, and they said, "Yeah." She goes, "Can you send her to me, please?" Goes into a private room and says, "I heard you're going through some stuff." She says, "I have 2 forms of cancer." He said, "I'm paying the whole bill." Like that kind of stuff. Like how many people do that? Right. Let's talk about your employees or employers. That big companies. Would you pull someone aside from cancer or no? Trump said, "Forget your insurance. I'll pay for it." Like those things. Those are good things, dude. You can those things.
There was a story about him giving one of his towers free rent for like 20 years or something. Like there are these stories.
Quarterback Jim Kelly, he paid for his stuff. Like let him stay in one of his apartment penthouses for like a year. Paid for all of his stuff because he played NFL.
Right.
So like narcissism isn't always negative, right? It just carries negative tendencies sometimes.
Right.
Which I have to top, right? Can't you just let's do what the scriptures say and step back? and be humble about it.
And that's where we as a voter body, and this is a good segue, that's where we as a voter body have to hold responsibility of who we're voting for, right? He may have been the man for the season, right?
Sure.
He may have been that man that goes in, he breaks things open, he does some good stuff, but there's a season where it's time for the next to step in.
You want to hear we're going to piss off the libertarians right now and the left? Trump was needed.
He was
a needed person in the 2016 to 20, he was needed. As odd as this sounds, I hate even saying it. There was a very shakeup that needed to have happened.
Yeah.
What it did was expose the left for who they really are, socialists, the Antifas, stuff they've been working on for a long time, right?
Yep.
Expose. It also exposed Republicans. It exposed the weak ones and came out with the ones who actually could stand on principle. DeSantis, all these other guys, Sabatini. I think, dude, Carrie Lake is the bomb.
Awesome.
She is really good. Her and DeSantis have this Trump-like. I don't even want to say Trump-like. They're very bold, but they know how.
Yeah, they're refined.
Very. That's the right word. Very refined. So Trump needed, and you know what? Thank God that I don't like. I don't, and it's hard to. I know there's tendencies of me that carry some of that, and which is why I'm not the owner of Self-Evident, or I should say I'm the owner president anymore. Removing myself from all those positions. I don't need that title, man. I'm just a preacher, right? I know where I need to be in my lane. So, but he was so needed because it exposed things. There was things too that he brought. So, it's gonna make people mad when I say it, and I don't care. But I know my conscience. What do I want to go through that again? No. But was it necessary? I do believe that with my heart.
Right. And somebody had sent me something. What was it yesterday? A political ad for DeSantis came out. Basically said on the 8th day, God created DeSantis as a fighter or something like that. And they were concerned about it. And what I responded was, yeah, I agree. Like that's, let's be about creating a God king. And that's where for you guys with DeSantis.
That's where we've always been that position. Don't create a king out of a mere man.
Right.
That's what people do. That's tribalism sucks.
And that's what scares me about DeSantis.
Truth.
As soon as you get somebody who's really solid, really good, doing what they need to do, there is this
obeisance, like bow down him.
He's our savior complex.
That's it.
Make a king or a savior out of somebody.
And I don't see that. I just think that people do it automatically.
I hope he half tongue in cheek, right? But I hope he pulls the Jesus and like rejects it outright. I'm not your king. I'm not your king. Go away, right? Because Christ knew it wasn't time yet. He was their king.
Amen.
But easy, you had something?
Oh, you said that, and I immediately kind of thinking of King Saul.
Picking the king.
Yeah, well, picking the king, and like he was described to be like the tallest and most handsome, and thought to be the most capable man there, and he was anointed by God,
and he was necessary for that time.
Right.
Again, this is where you who are angry, just everybody quit and just listen to our podcast for the last 5 years. This is about constitutional issues. This is not about your favorite personality. This is about constitutionality, okay? President Trump needs to follow the Constitution like we want everyone else to.
Right.
Executive orders, bad. I don't think good. I don't think they're constitutional. What's me saying that? It doesn't mean I hate the guy. His character is flawed a little bit. Doesn't mean I hate him. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't get this where we got to check our words. So stupid. We should be able to do this with each other all the time because we love each other, right? Mm-hmm. I want where I'm flawed. So I can fix it, right? Same thing. If I point out, hey man, I wish he wouldn't have done that. Like you pointed out to me yesterday, I was like, what? He went after DeSantis? What the heck? And granted, you know what's crazy is DeSantis hasn't mentioned Trump at all. When I was at that rally, he didn't once say, hey, I'm Trump endorsed or Trump, nothing. He stuck to his platform, what he was moving forward. You know what I mean? So,
which is character, right?
It is character.
That old Winston Churchill quote. What is it? To get where you're going, don't stop to throw stones at a dog. Like, DeSantis knows he's keeping his
He's
eye
focused.
on the prize.
He's focused.
And
Yeah.
more power to him on that sense. Don't create a God King out of him. And I'm looking at you guys saying it'd be very easy for swept up in DeSantis pandemonium, especially in about a year and a half. Right? When we're looking at presidential elections, if he runs, people are going to create a savior of him. Don't do it. For his sake as well as your own. Because it is very, 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 very difficult for a man to resist the trying to become that savior.
I know.
And I think one of the strongest things about George Washington was he rejected it. They wanted to make him a king, right? They would keep going. No. I want to go back home, you know?
Yeah, there's this whole half-hearted story about how John Adams wanted a certain title for him. I think it was like His Majesty or something like that, like Mr. President, nothing more. Like he was very, I don't want the title, bro, which made him the best to me candidate for president.
Right.
Was I don't want it. Right. I fought for this country. I fought for the Declaration of Independence. I fought for American liberty. I don't want to be the leader, you know, and those are the ones you say that's the guy I want. Mm-hmm. Because I don't want title or position. But I know I need to do it, so I'll go do it.
Oh, he'll bow out when he needs to.
And you got to see too with Trump, Kerry Lake, all these. I say this about leadership in general, right? You're gonna get attacked, man. Especially in this era, in this climate. Just wait till all your laundry gets aired out, all of it. You know what I mean? They're gonna go through everything. Social media. I mean, I just experienced that. They're like, we got to go through. I'm like, in that case, I got a ministry too. So
I was so surprised when they let you pray.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you know,
they must not watch our podcast. Or
no, I told her, I said, you will not find anything about Republican Democrat with us. Right. What you'll find is we'll correct both Republicans and Democrats with the Constitution. If you don't like that, then I ain't praying. But that's what I do, right? He goes, no, I think that's amazing. I love that. She's like, they did a whole, everything was like 13, 14 going through our stuff.
Wow.
So they went through it all night. Like they went through, they vetted, they screened and said, come and pray. And I'm like, definitely there's things in my past that I'm not, you know what I mean? Things that I did.
We all say things wrong.
My gosh. You know, I was in like we talked about, I was in that group for 12 years. Things he said, I'm not there no more. You know what I mean? And I thought about that one day too. Yep. What do you say about this guy? It's like, am I there right now? No.
You were with him for 12 years and he said this.
Yeah. And I'm not there no more. You know what I mean? So there's definitely some things. Well, you know, if they find out about that, I can answer it. Whatever. I mean, it's all these things and more, man. Like our character has to prevail, which shouldn't that matter to us pastors? Shouldn't that matter as church ministry leaders? You know, we can't just correct the national stuff and the statewide stuff and not correct ourselves. So we're always on that train too. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we've asked this. If there's something wrong with us, if there's something we're not seeing and we say something, please tell us. Like, I'm open to this. A little girl, I'll get this. I was at True Texas Project speaking 4 years ago now, 2020, 2021. And she said, you misspelled this word, and there was a period instead of a comma slide. And her mom was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, sorry for what? I would have pie on my face if someone else actually, like from the press or something, saw that and said, look at this guy, can't even spell. That's amazing. Like, thank you. And for this little girl, like, amazing that I was like, thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you for telling me. Thank you for being honest with me. You know, I like stuff. It doesn't always feel good, but
it hurts. But
it does. I mean,
this is immediately that voice in your head is like, I'm so stupid.
No,
this person sees
it's
it,
like a little brat. I'm kidding. No, what a sweetheart. But seriously.
And to point, I had a meeting yesterday at school ministry debrief, and the people I was sitting with, I said, okay, what do you think needs to be improved? Give me some feedback. And the lady was like, hesitant to do it. She, I just tell me. You need to tell me. And I've got to look, because if I want to get better, I need that critique. I need that back. I need to know what you think doesn't work. Now, it may not necessarily change everything that everybody ever's feedback on, blah, blah, blah. But it's so important for us to take on feedback and criticism and critique and recognize through the meat, spit out the bones, recognize, okay, what's actually better. And that actually builds. We see it as like it's going to tear down my confidence, it's going to make me feel worse. Just like so in the kingdom of God, it's the reverse of what we think.
Right.
If you give more, you'll have less. No, you get more. True. I'm not like prosperity gospel. I'm saying spiritually, like contentment wise, if you take on and accept feedback, critique, you become better, actually become more confident.
Yeah, I mean,
you become more
I
sure
agree.
of yourself.
I agree.
You know?
I think too, like the more we be honest, and I'm talking honesty with humility. I'm not talking about
right
on a rant and tear people a new one, because they did you wrong or something.
I'm just blunt. No, you're just a jerk.
Yeah, you're a jerk. Like seriously. I was preaching yesterday and one of the actually for government, but think about it in the terms of even correction, like just to correct somebody. Dietrich Bonhoeffer once said, silence in the face of evil is in and of itself evil. He said, God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak to act. So you not speaking is showing your action that you want this bad to continue.
Right.
You want the wrong to continue. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. Willing to say something to somebody who's actually open and willing. Now, I understand why people don't correct too, because a lot of people want to hear it.
Yeah, people react very poorly.
And we're asking you to do that. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Right. Okay, show me that I'm missing a party. Show me that I'm missing it with the demo. Show me, okay, and I'm with you. And us talk the ills of both parties does make us a part of the unity thing. An opinion in this unity thing. Todd talked about unity. Talked about unity on Wednesday, and he said we may not always agree, but we don't agree. We're in the unity. We could disagree because we're unified. We can disagree in this and work this thing out. There are certain people believe about the Republicans that I don't. They're always in the right. I don't think that. And because I see, and I'm a purist in a lot of ways. Like I want to see things go back to the way they. And will I ever see it? Probably not. But someone's got to hold the line, and I'm going to hold the line. And so it's not that they're bad people. Not that I'm against them. Like keep doing what you're doing. Keep preaching. I just think that we have our opinion. You have yours, and we still do this. I can still vote for president if he's the best candidate because I think he's the best candidate. I still have disagreements, but I still cast my vote and say, Lord, I know why I'm doing this. No, because it's before you and before my country. I'm going to do this. I'm just throwing this as a hypothetical. DeSantis isn't perfect, but I'm still going to kind of cast my vote him. Me personally, this is Massey. Personally, because I see what he's done and I see what he do, and I know we want to remove power from the hands of government. So I can go and do those. At Sabatini, I would totally, right. Jenna Haig, totally. All these people that I know run on principle. Are they? Will Jenna do everything right? Probably not, and she knows that. But you know what? It's the fact that she can admit it that I can get behind her. Exactly. It's the fact that Sabatini can admit it. I'll get behind it. The fact that Carrie Lake I can get behind that. Say, man, I screwed that. He actually said, and I didn't do everything right in 2020. I didn't do everything right. But just you saying that's cool, man. Like we get it. We screw up. How did that? And dude, he came back with some rip-roaring things. So just this is what we're trying to say is like we could have different opinions, right? Just because my opinion doesn't even mean either of us or don't know your side of the opinion to make that opinion. So this is gathering my facts. And I can't be too purist enough. I can't be too purist to not see a rational. Right. So I have to be careful too of like, no, he's not doing everything constitutional. Who really does? Who does?
Especially because exactly. It's up to interpretation to length.
Bill, right? And it was correcting me on that. He's like, dude, you're he goes, your line is out here. We're still back here. This is good, but we're back here. You got to come back here and push us to that line. Right. It's like, and I get it.
And that's a tough balance for that.
Thank you, Bill.
That voice that is out on the purist line, right? Abortion's a perfect example.
Oh, dude.
Done. Outlaw, right? But to get there, so that voice has to keep the vision forward and keep, okay, this is the goal. And then people have to bring it up through the stages,
Right.
right? Don't
Right.
and yeah, go ahead and confetti when you make a next step,
Yeah.
but don't get lost on that next step. Keep your vision forward.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mentioned one group. There's a group out there called I think it's abolishAbortionNow.com. I only heard about them about a year and a half ago, so I didn't know about this movement. And I was reading some of their stuff, and I'm like, "Ooh, this wouldn't have been accepted ago." And it's true. They wouldn't have. They were too extreme. They were too. Now that Roe v. Wade's overturned, people are like, "Oh, what would have happened if they weren't holding the line? Exactly. What would have happened if they weren't doing the stuff and doing what they were doing?
Didn't have those voices. Everybody go, oh, we're good.
Yeah. And so this is their line, and they held it, right? And so now people are going more itching to that line of abolishing straight up. So like some of us have to hold the line, have to be helpers to push us to that line, but never lose sight of the line. That's what we're trying to tell you. Don't come over here, mingle over here, and lose sight of the line.
Right.
Keep your eye on the line while you're over here trying to make this thing happen. The line is here. God wants us there. And I'm talking spiritual right now. Line's here. Just because we want to go reach the lost, right? We don't turn into the world to make them like. That's what literally Paul rebuked Peter for. Right. You don't do that. Paul went and sat the way Christ did with us to bring them to the line. That's what the job is, right? That's our job. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm called to do, right? And again, that Abolish Abortion Now is real. There's a podcast too. I think it's called Free the States. I'd love to have them on the show. They're such a good, they're really balanced, and they're pretty strict on things. So I'm like, okay, they're a little on that strict side, which is cool, to you, and so are we, right? It would be cool to have them talk about this whole thing. I didn't find out about this podcast like 9 months ago, 8 months ago. Good stuff, man. Like, I'm glad they were holding the line, like we were trying to hold the line as we could, but to see that whole thing in action, and so sorry. Tangent.
Absolutely. We should get going.
We should. I took up 10 minutes monologuing.
Well, what you made me think of is, again, back to Churchill. Is
I look like Jabba the Hutt.
Side by side. Do it for the thumbnail. Back to. I keep thinking about Churchill today, and Churchill stood the line Hitler when nobody else wanted to.
Truth.
World War II.
Yeah.
People wanted to appease. People want
very
just
few
give
voices.
him what he wants. Yes.
Very few
Neville
voices,
Chamberlain. He did not want war at all costs. He do anything he could just to appease Hitler and goes away and kind of stays to himself. Churchill the whole time was saying, nope, evil. He's going to try Europe. We got to fight him now. And he held the line. He could have very easily said, well, maybe, we'll try and do a peace treaty. Maybe this. And then the war ramped up, and he still the line of, we're going to win no matter what. We're going to fight last. We're going to keep, you need those voices keep you moving forward. And then you have the people that are make those steps and goals in order to be able to achieve that. Everybody plays a part.
They do. I think you said it best. Everybody plays part. There's some who, like you said, they weren't appeasing, but like John Dickinson, not want to support war. People would say he's a pansy. Like Adams was like, no, Boston's being attacked, and he's like, yeah, but to throw all 13 of us in a war, we're gonna lose. Like, think about where he's at in his head. He wasn't being a coward. War really now? We don't even have a navy. We don't have a navy. So, and he wasn't thinking lack of faith. He was thinking practical. We're done. We're toast.
Right.
But comes out saying, but kings or parliaments don't give me rights. God does. So like there was this godly side of John Dickinson too. So it wasn't this opposed to the war. What a pansy. It was, no, I'm thinking about my states. I'm thinking of, you know what I mean? What's at stake? You see what I'm saying? Like, well, and again, this is correcting me too. Got to be careful where people are at. See them and push them and encourage them into the line.
And that's the key, is relationship and faith in the Lord. Because when you're walking with the Lord and you're hearing the Lord, you're going to know when to stand and when it's not time yet. When you're walking into folly, you're going to know when you're making issues that you shouldn't.
Sure.
And you're going to know when to stand the line and stand firm, right? Because the Lord's going to direct you in that pathway. So that's me. That's Massey. Go get yourself an old country buffet cruise.
Go get your cruise. Dude, Holland America, it's dope.
Be on at 7:00.
Listen, guys, the vote's important. Get out there and vote. You got today and tomorrow to get out and vote. Do your duty. Do your civic duty. Let's turn out and let's get some really candidates that want constitutional things and want to protect life. Let's get out there and get behind them. I'm voting majority red. I mean, that's just how it is. I don't have a blue person to vote for. Those leaving their own party.
Right,
seeing them, they're all leaving.
Yeah.
So no, I am in this sense right now as Massey, Team Red. I've always been that way because closely aligned to that. Do we need better candidates? But there's some good ones now.
And
there's really good ones now.
That's why those are so important.
That's
we
right.
didn't get to touch on that, but your responsibility is in primaries.
Yep.
That you need to really start standing for the people of character. Your responsibility to vote. It's God-given responsibility to participate in this process, even if you think it's rigged. Faith up to the Lord.
Yep. Also, too, if you guys, Palm Beach County area, Martin County, or Port St. Lucie County, Pastor Jan from our church did a ton of digging. Looked into all these candidates that were the best of the best. Put it together in a sheet. We'll get that to you. We can email it to you. Message us, and we'll email you that to help you kind of vote. And what we see is constitutional, the best candidates. And I forgot to mention Norman yesterday, guys. If you're watching this, we have a voter guide church. I didn't even think about it. You know what I mean? It just didn't even occur to me, which stinks, but it is what it is.
So, all right, guys, we will see you Friday. You guys have a great day, great week.
Bye.
Love you guys.